I got a package from CapcanComics.ca, which is a Canadian seller, of course. Capcan must stand for Captain Canada, I guess. So Capcan Comics was referred to me by a fellow YouTuber, and I guess a fellow Canadian, because to order from a Canadian seller, I guess you must be Canadian to save on shipping. And so yeah, we're gonna open this box and I'm gonna tell you who recommended me this seller. Inside there's a thick bubble thingy. Then the comic books are wrapped in more bubble wrap. Let's remove the box. So yeah, the books are all bag and board and then wrapped in more bubble wrap. Okay, so let's see what I got in the box. First up, Black Hawk number 261. It's from August 1983. And I'm collecting only the end run of this DC series from issues 251 to issues 273, which was a run written by Mark Evanier. Mark Evanier is a very well-known writer, both in comics and animation studios. He worked with Jack Kirby as an intern assistant during Jack's work for DC in the 70s, the whole Fourth World saga and Kamandi and all that. Mark Evanier wrote this series, very nicely done, set in World War II. Most of the issues are drawn by Dan Spiegel, a very good artist. Not a superstar, but very good artist. And there were also a lot of guest artists, either on the covers or in backup stories. So this cover is by Dave Cockrum. Dave Cockrum, of course, was the original artist on the all-new Uncanny X-Men when they started in the 70s. The team with Wolverine, Colossus, Storm and all that. Nightcrawler. So Dave Cockrum was that artist, and he was also a very renowned artist on the Legion of Superheroes at DC during the 70s. And above all, I think Dave Cockrum is a huge fan of Black Hawk, so he did a few covers for this series, and I think he drew also a couple of backups or interior stories. Next up is number 262 of Black Hawk, same series. This one has a cover by Howard Chaykin. So I was just speaking about guest artists. By the way, Gil Kane, Alex Toth, and a whole lot of other artists did covers for this series. It's a classic series set in World War II and with the classic Black Hawk team, but without the racial stupidity of the Golden Age about, for example, the Chinese character named Chop Chop. Yeah, he doesn't have Bucktooth anymore in this part of the series. And the last Black Hawk I had in this lot was number 268. Number 268 was from March 1984, and this is a special issue because there's actually, instead of one big story, there are 3 small 7-page stories. One is drawn by regular artist Dan Spiegel, and one is drawn by Doug Wildey. If you don't know who Doug Wildey is, he was a renowned comic book artist in the 50s, and after that he went to work in animation, where he created, among other things, the famous Johnny Quest cartoon. So yeah, and also if you're a fan of Western, Doug Wildey did a very cool series called Rio. This is the hardcover collection of all the Rio stories. I'll have to do a video about that one day because it's one of the best Western series ever made. Next up, it's DC Comics Presents number 88. This is Superman and the Creeper. It's from December 1985, and it was written by Stephen Gohart, a writer I like very much, and drawn, of course, as you can see on the cover, by Keith Giffen, an artist I love, not everybody's cup of tea, and this issue was particularly done in his most surrealistic style of drawing, but I loved it. It was a cool issue. Next up is Infinity Inc. number 1 from March 1984. I'm just gonna buy the first issue of this series. I was not really a fan. I think my editor Eric was a fan back then, at least. I bought it because right now I'm trying to collect the title that gave birth to the series, which is here, the All-Star Squadron. I am trying to collect the whole series. I'm about 15-20 issue in, I think. And I know at one point they will cross over with Infinity Inc., so I bought the first issue. By the way, all the comics I'm showing you right now, I bought for about $2 each, $2 Canadian. I know you guys in the US sometimes get on my nerve with all your comic book, all from dollar bins and 50-cent bin. I'm just joking, of course, but here in Canada, a $2 comic book is a great deal. And next up is a bunch of Legion of Superheroes. I was speaking of Dave Cockrum earlier. This is Legion of Superheroes number 275 from May 1981, and the cover is by Dave Cockrum. But the inside art was done by a guy, the whole run I'm going to show you was done by a guy called Jim Janes. I don't remember seeing his name outside of his run of Legion of Superheroes. I don't know if he didn't find satisfaction in doing comic books, because I don't remember seeing, as I said, his name outside of Legion of Superheroes. So this is 275. 277, I'm trying to complete that Bronze Age run of Legion of Superheroes. Starting with this issue, all the covers I'm going to show you are by the great George Perez. Inside art, as I said, still done by Jim Janes. Here you see a mystery character called Reflecto, who was a very mysterious character for a while in Legion of Superheroes. I'm not gonna spoil it. And the last Legion from this run is number 280, where Superboy rejoins the Legion of Superheroes. Number 280 is from October 1981. So the last two books are also Legion of Superheroes books, but from different series. I used to have the whole set of this incarnation of Legion of Superheroes. It was in deluxe paper, Baxter paper, I think it was called back then. But when I had to trim my collection a few years ago, I sold most of them. I kept only the first 15 issues. And while I was shopping online at Captain.can, I stumbled upon this and I saw Keith Giffen's name up there. I love all the Legion of Superheroes that Levitz and Giffen did together. But during this series, at one point, Giffen left, and to me, Legion of Superheroes became less interesting. And the art also took a nosedive. I think the artist was Greg LaRocque, and I really hated his style. I didn't like also the inker, Dan DeCarlo, so LaRocque and DeCarlo together. So I kept only the first 15 issues. So while I was shopping, as I said, online, I saw that Giffen and Levitz had came back around issue number 50 until the end of this run. I didn't remember that. I might have dropped the series before that. I think I dropped the series during the big Crisis crossover, because Legion of Superheroes become really messed up during the Crisis. So I tried, for $2, I tried this issue, number 50, and it was very, very good with the Time Trapper. I loved it, so I'm gonna order the other issue that Giffen did with Levitz. And the last Legion of Superheroes series, it's number 100. I don't remember from which volume this issue is from. It's a big, thick, square bound. I love square bounds. Almost 100-page long. It's the 100th issue that came out in January 1998. I only bought it because it was $2 on the website. And I am a huge fan of the Legion of Superheroes, not a big fan of almost all the modern era version of it. I think they rebooted the series too many times and they did a bad work each time. If you want to get Legion of Superheroes, I think you have to go for the nostalgia of it. And yeah, I bought this issue only because it was a I Love Giant size issue, and also there was a long list of contributors to this issue. I like Alan Davis, who did the wraparound covers for this. The other names that caught my eye, Ron Boyd is pretty good. Lee Moder is very good, and Walter Simonson drew a chapter written by Paul Levitz, longtime Legion of Superhero writer. Yeah, but even Walter Simonson couldn't save this issue. I'm not gonna keep this in my collection. Most of the story instead are bad. I'm not interested in the new characters, and I don't like that era of DC where they had a blue electrical Superman, and yeah, I didn't recognize my DC heroes back then. So that's it. I'm gonna thank the fellow Canadian YouTuber who gave me the tip on this excellent website where you can find great comic books for $2. Most of them for $2. Some are a little bit pricier, but those that are pricier are even affordable on the Canadian market, I would say. There are mostly older issues. And I'm gonna order from CapCan.ca very soon. I was very satisfied with their package, and the prices are good, and the shipping cost is also good. I think they have a flat rate of $10 for a box of books. So for Canadian collectors, this is a good place to shop. So the fellow YouTuber I want to dedicate this video to, his name used to be, I think, Funkos with Chris, but he changed the name of his channel recently. It's now called Comics with Murdoch. He's a Funko Pop collector and also a comic book collector, of course. I love his comic book videos, even if I'm not really into Funko Pops. I think they're cool to watch. He's also a big Moon Knight fan, as I am. So yeah, he shows interesting comics. He has good taste in comics, I would add. I'm gonna leave the link to his channel down below. I strongly suggest you to go subscribe and watch his cool stuff. Until we meet again, happy trails everyone.